Welcome to Framework. I'm John, one of the hosts of Framework. With me, as always, the other host of Framework, Al. Good morning, Al.
I guess it's good. I don't know. I've been feeling a little crazy and kind of sad since those shots you gave me.
You just got to struggle with it, and you will forget all about it in time. It will, it won't even be a thing you remember.
We are, as the title of this episode indicates, talking about Bugonia, the new film from Yorgos Lanthimos and his, I guess, officially his muse now, Emma Stone, right?
Yeah, for certain. And I mean, Jesse Plemons, kind of like secondary muse coming on in, it feels like, honestly.
I feel like he serves as secondary muse for a few people. Plemons, he's just I don't know. Seems like a really solid locker room guy.
Yeah. He's in the Scorsese group at this point. I think he's been in the last 3 Scorseses, if memory serves. Yeah, I mean, this guy is coming on so strong. I can't even believe, like, of all the Friday Night Lights actors, they tried so many of them out. This is the one. This is the guy. Landry is the one who ended up having a huge career in Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have been that surprising back in Friday Night Lights days to be like, oh, he's somebody who 20 years from now will still be in movies. Like, we'll still have more. Like, I would believe that, okay, I'm going to have more relationship with his work than I do with Tim Riggins' work. But I would never have guessed how, like, high profile his work would be. That he would wear all of the best directors of the era. Yeah.
Heir apparent to Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's crazy. Yeah. It's one of the most unbelievable, kind of exciting Hollywood success stories of the last decade, probably. I mean, you get right down to it. He's just such an odd bird. Anyway, okay, so Bugonia. We've never actually spoken about Yorgos Lanthimos, I don't think. Have we? I don't recall if we have. I don't know what your opinions of him are. I don't know what mine are, maybe. Kind of confusing director.
Yeah. Not to steal your thunder, yeah. I don't really know either. I mean, I know that Poor Things was very good. I thought The Favorite was excellent. Mm-hmm. And I recall liking The Lobster, but never revisited it.
No.
And I recall viscerally disliking Dogtooth.
Certainly.
That's everything, I think.
Killing of a Sacred Deer is him as well, which is
I saw that one.
That's one that looms large in the memory, if you will. That's one that sticks with you because it's fucked up, basically. One of those fucked up movies.
That kind of like not unlike Dogtooth.
Well, I mean, it's in more of a good way. Dogtooth is good, I suppose, but Killing of a Sacred Deer, it has just one of those premises that'll hang out with you and mess with you occasionally as you think about it. That was Barry Keoghan, sort of his first thing I remember seeing him in. He's weird in it. It's a creepy film, and I guess it's of a piece with Dogtooth and The Lobster in that way. He's become a little bit more conventional. Won Oscars for things. Well, I don't know if Yorgos ever did, but his movies were big Oscar performers. Certainly Poor Things did quite well. Emma Stone won the Oscar.
Yeah, I don't know that Poor Things is conventional.
I guess not. No, it's very odd, actually, but it found some form of mass appeal, which is a fate I doubt awaits Bugonia. His latest.
I think it can rest easy on that front.
This is, the kind of movie you make when you've had some big success and you can do a real weird one. He just comes off of Kinds of Kindness too, which did you see that one? I found that quite off-putting, actually.
No, I didn't see that one either.
Well,
that's
a deep
cut.
But
this is,
yeah.
I mean, I'll say, I guess, so The Favorite would be his most conventional in terms of being the one that's most set in the real world. Mm-hmm. And I suppose Dogtooth is too, sort of, but it's also set in this hermetically sealed piece of the world that is its own weird thing. But all that is going to be kind of relevant to my response to Bugonia, which I gather is quite a bit more reserved than yours.
Yes, I love this film. I think Bugonia is, if not the best film of the year, one of the best. It's definitely my favorite Yorgos film. I like this more than any other film I've seen from him. I was very taken with it. I was very surprised by it. I had a ball watching it. I really enjoyed myself on this movie. It was a lot funnier, a lot scarier, a lot more thrilling than I expected it to be, you know? To some extent, when you get to the end of the year, you've got like a list of the big directors that put out movies, and you're just like, oh, well, I have an opportunity to go see a movie today. This starts at the right time. Let's hit this on the checklist of things that I'm interested in. And that's sort of the energy I came into Bugonia with. I was absolutely taken with it, though. It just grabbed me immediately, and I was thrilled.
You said a couple of things there about being surprised by it. And
yeah,
we're probably going to talk about that a lot today. And then also that being funnier and scarier than you thought it would be. What did you expect it to be? Because I actually expected it to be a little more comedic than it was.
I mean, I guess that's a fair question. I don't know that I had an answer other than just like, I like these people. It sounds like a sort of a weird sort of sci-fi comedy kind of thing, but I guess I came in expecting it to be funny, but I haven't laughed as much at a Yorgos movie. I don't know, maybe The Favorite. The Favorite's pretty funny, I think.
Yeah, I think it is.
But like, I don't really think of him as a comedy guy. I guess Poor Things also has comedy in it. More of an irreverent guy, and
he's a fucking weirdo for sure.
He's a fucking weirdo. That's what I expect mostly. So maybe I shouldn't have been as surprised by this, but I guess the real surprise was mostly just how into it I was, how taken by the plot I was, and kind of how it kind of had me in its clutches as it kept dropping new pieces of information, changing the perspective, changing your rooting interests, giving you new information to cogitate on as it went on, as a proper thriller should do. But it's certainly not a proper thriller in many other ways.
No, I think that's the issue I have with this movie. It's one where the movie brain we talk about.
Right.
Really,
this is a big part of it. Yes. I want to talk about this.
Really kneecapped me in this one because it is the setup. Obviously, I mean, you have to be a real psycho to be listening to this podcast without having seen the movie. But it's also just in the trailers that the premise of it is Jesse Plemons is a conspiracy theorist who kidnaps this Emma Stone, is the CEO of this pharmaceutical company, at the belief that she is an alien in human disguise, and to try and extract information or confessions out of her. And based on that, it felt like I've been going into this one. Okay, there's a central question to this movie, I suppose, which is like, is she an alien or is she not an alien? And there's only two possible answers to that, yes. And there's only one possible ending for this movie that could be a twist. And so.
Well, I got you there. And the fact that this is a film by Yorgos Lanthimos of Dogtooth, Killing of a Sacred
That's exactly where I was going next.
Yeah. Like
his movies, as I was thinking about this, maybe it's less true of The Favorite than others. But what I was thinking in the moment, not having thought that through, is that this is not a guy who does movies where his characters are less crazy than the world that they live in. That's not what The Lobster is. That's
certainly
for damn sure. That's not what Poor Things is. These are insane alternate realities where the people are more normal. And so the idea that this whole thing is going to be a drama about how Jesse Plemons is deluded, and that's it. It ends with, he was an insane person, and he was wrong about this lady. I couldn't accept that, or I couldn't buy into that, and I also couldn't get it out of my head. I was trying to push it out, like just go with this. Stop trying to see around the corners. But I'm like, but that's got to be where this ends, right? There's no. How else could Yorgos Lanthimos, a person I know nothing about other than he's a fucking weirdo, get it up for this story if it doesn't have an insane ending that's building to?
I agree. Okay, so this is the thing. Obviously, we're spoiling the hell out of this. It is a spoilable film in many ways, beyond just the binary answer of whether she's an alien or not. Stuff happens in this movie that is surprising. We're going to talk about all of that. So, yes, she's an alien. Obviously, there's no way to avoid that. When you sit down, knowing this is a Yorgos film, when the premise is introduced, you're just like, this is definitely going to go one way. I think the movie is using that, and I think that it does a very smart thing, which is basically if you take that knowledge away, and you take that ending away, and you assume that the character is not an alien, this is the exact film he would make too. Like for 75% of it here. Everything she does is consistent with that. And everything they build about Jesse Plemons is consistent with that. He is, there are many specific reasons why he is crazy, why he's fixated on her, and why he believes this nonsense, and it is nonsense, like the rules of these aliens are silly. So they've constructed basically a conspiracy theorist version of Misery going on here. And that's what the actual structure of the film is. Now, Plemons' performance certainly allows for the rest of it. And, I think he is the key to this thing working for me. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a two-hander. They're both incredible in this.
They're both incredible. Emma Stone is asked less of, I think. I mean, I don't even know if that's true. It's just, this is such a...
I'm going to have to rewatch to know that.
She's so good in this, but there's limitations on her role. And a big part of that is she's not playing an alien. Right. For most of the movie. She is behaving exactly as this person would if they were a human being.
And I think I was building up frustration throughout the movie with that. I almost wanted to will it to be like, I think I would end up I will like this movie better if it was a straightforward psychodrama about this person's delusions and how this lady's navigating them, who's a victim of them, but not an innocent victim necessarily. Could never buy that. So I was getting frustrated. I'm like, maybe just should have somebody else make that movie instead of of doing this movie, which I'm unfortunately I'm just like, just reveal it already so I can get over it. I mean, look, this part of this. Okay, so one thing I didn't even realize until after I'd seen the movie was that this is a remake of the Korean movie Save the Green Planet.
Yes,
from 20 years ago. Not that it was necessary, but if anything, would have completely underlined that yes, this is going for the crazy twist ending that doesn't really make any sense thing.
Korean sci-fi film, yeah,
Korean sci-fi film, yes, would have made that even more apparent. But it is so much more straightforward for a lot of its running time, and that stuff is really effective. That I wish I wasn't distracted by the looking out for the twist the whole time. That made it harder to surprise me with little stuff, I guess, too.
Little stuff,
because I was on guard in a way that way.
I mean, this is movie brain. Do you think this plays for an audience that is not familiar? Can't just rattle off the filmography of Yorgos Lanthimos,
right?
Well, first off, I don't know if they're going to see Bugonia. Maybe they're not.
How do they get there? Is the first question.
Yeah. But if they are there, if they find themselves in the theater, I think that they're plainly under the impression that you're watching a version of Misery, right? Like that Emma Stone is the protagonist. I don't know though, because Jesse Plemons is so plainly the protagonist of this film.
Yes.
That's interesting. I'm not sure how that plays out then in this hypothetical audience member that I've created in his mind.
Maybe you're expecting on some unconscious level even that there's going to be more of a seesaw in the sympathies between them and in the power between them. And it'll probably come out where Jesse Plemons isn't going to live through this, but maybe the whole thing somehow ends up exposing her and getting her in trouble too. And she gets taken down by way of it. And that's the happiest ending you're going to get. Mm-hmm. But maybe even that's applying some movie brain to it.
I don't know how regular people go about watching movies anymore, so that's fair.
Well, they do it while watching YouTube on their phone, which is bizarre. But
this is a bewildering film, though. I mean, this is weird enough that any ending is viable. I think, there's a version of this that does end with it, like any other director probably. You think Emma Stone's the protagonist of the movie. Right?
I mean, not, until the movie starts and you see how it's presented,
yeah.
Her morning routine and whatnot is not coded as sympathetic character stuff.
It's so overt and just the way that her introduction is scored. like oppressive alien overlord music plays when you meet her. You know? Like it is entirely through his perspective. Like that's the thing. Like structurally, this is entirely Misery. Every piece of information we get sort of reinforces the idea that he's crazy and she's a human. But it's so presented through the Jesse Plemons character's eyes that you don't really buy that. Like you still think he's correct here, no matter what. And I don't know if that's movie brain or if it's intentional. Because I mean, Plemons is such an open, emotional presence in this film. Like he's like a child, like innocence to him.
At most, you think he's right that she is evil, but you never. I don't think, unless you're just fully locked into the movie brainness of it, like I was, you're not thinking he's right about the specifics of the alien plot. That stuff is so nonsensical. And,
right. They shaved her hair so they can't track her. Right. So that shouldn't. I mean, that should be the tip off right there that he's nuts, and that's it.
Yes, it should be. That's the weird way that it almost became more of a fait accompli to me, that it doesn't present the question of whether she's an alien as an open one really throughout the movie, that we're being presented with evidence and counter evidence for. It's just more and more evidence. I mean, if the scene establishes that he and his, neurodivergent cousin, that is his sidekick that he's dragging along, he insists that they both chemically castrate themselves to make them less susceptible to her charms. You can't take his evidence seriously after that.
Exactly.
He's not a reliable source. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the point of that is, if not to make that apparent.
I mean, talk about the Korean film. Apparently, that the Emma Stone character in that was a man, male character. They gender swapped it here to change the dynamic and, well, to give Emma Stone a significant role. But it really does alter the way you feel about the film, I think. Like, if that was a male character here, the entire movie would feel different. And I think coming out now, as it does, it is a film that is ultimately about a man who believes something about this woman from afar and decides to control her in some way. And this is sort of a Jesse Plemons specialty, too. Like, he has played versions of this guy in a number of things. Black Mirror being the sort of the most famous one. And that dynamic brought to the front. Well, first off, it's sort of a way to sort of poke you with a stick, in sort of a cultural way and in an Eddington sort of fashion. But I think it does sort of innately change our perception of how things are going to play out and how the movie will end as a result. Right? It has to. As she says at one point, how could it not be about that in some way? Even if it's not technically on just a pure narrative level. It's part of the sociological dance of this movie. That it is sort of being a cultural upsetter.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's another thing to talk about. The sociological dance of this movie. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. I think that anybody going to this expects it to be kind of a topical exploration of, online rabbit holes and conspiracism and all of that.
Self-reinforcing silos of misinformation, that
right.
you get stuck in, and then you end up believing nonsense.
And did you have feelings or expectations on that level? And did it
I mean,
live up to them or down to them?
Just when I heard the premise, it's Jesse Plemons kidnapping a woman, that's something there. And then there's a sort of a ecological side to that too. I don't know. They don't really get too into the environmental messages here. That's not really front and center. I mean, I think there's a general impression that mankind is fucking it up. Like I think I described this somewhere as it's an existential horror movie about what a disappointment we are as a species. Like that's what it comes down to more than it is a comedy. It's kind of a horror movie about just like we suck and don't deserve to live. It's a counterpoint to the Abyss almost in that way.
I guess. I mean, I guess that's in there. It's just it's so not how I think of the world that I have to.
No, not these days. Myself. You're not kind of down on humanity lately. You don't see the end a little bit.
Oh, I think we suck, but I don't know. I don't think that it has anything to do with deserving to live. Like,
well, that's not really for us or an alien species to decide. It's kind of our own actions thing. In reality, this is the metaphor, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an argument. Well, so I think that the fact that we do live is an amazing miracle of a fluke.
Sure.
That might not last. And to that end, it kind of whatever we're doing with it, it's still a miracle, and I hope I would say worth preserving, unquestionably. If only so we can do better in the future. Because as far as I can tell, there's nobody else out there. I don't think the bees are going to do better. As I guess is my.
They're not going to get culture. They're not going to figure it out. No.
And so I don't know. The only way that I can really say that we're fucking it up or that we don't deserve it is if we are hurting people, or ruining things for other people, and that's only a problem if people do deserve to live. And I don't know, it's all kind of circular to me. I'm like, yeah, as bad as things are, nobody else is going to fix this for us. We're gonna have to do it. And popping the bubble of the earth at the end, I don't understand that as an act of moral repulsion, I guess.
I mean, that's ultimately what it is, right? Like, in the end of the day, well, I guess it is the decision of alien overlords at that point that all life on Earth is extinguished. But, well, all human life on Earth. But, I mean, we're getting there ourselves, I think is the point of the movie. We can't manage to protect ourselves. And that's our failing. Not in a moral sense, just in practical terms.
It's in conversation with Batman Begins, obviously. In terms of the thing that I always struggle with that is the League of Shadows grand plan there, which is that Gotham is such a cesspool that's destroying itself that we have no choice but to destroy it ourselves. And it's like, well, you said you've been working for a century to destroy this place and it's still hanging on. So maybe if you were not trying to destroy it, it would be doing better by now. Or maybe, God forbid, even like you were trying to help. And it's just like, this place is so terrible. This place is going to destroy itself. So we may as well destroy it all in one go today. And I'm like, but I thought you were mad that it was destroying itself. I thought you didn't want it to be destroyed. But I don't understand how killing is a solution to being disgusted by killing.
Well, I mean, in terms of like what it means, it can simply be the fact that we are in fact human beings living on Earth ourselves. Like you can be disgusted with us and the choices we've made and the track record that history provides, while still wanting the experiment to continue on for purely selfish reasons, purely the desire to continue existing. Maybe that is all there is ultimately. It's just our own purely selfish desire to continue being alive.
It's certainly a factor in it. And I guess maybe I'm not putting myself in the proper like Andromedan headspace here because...
I mean, do we need to track that as characters though necessarily? I don't think the movie
that's not
really
what most of this
that.
movie is.
Yeah.
It's not until the very end. And when that comes up, and even then it's like, I don't know, you can't take it seriously because of the head shaving stuff and the calculator thing. It's all so goddamn silly that I'm like, this, I'm not supposed to take this literally, I'm assuming.
No, of course not. But I mean, well, inside the plot itself, I think that, this is Day the Earth Stood Still stuff, though. This is a alien trope, is that they are ultimately going to judge humanity for our sins. And whether we have earned the right to exist in the galactic kind of community. That's always been a part of the thing, and this is just a weirder version of it than usual.
It's a thing I struggle with because I'm trying to like, I guess my route into it would be like, all right, if we're the aliens, humans are beavers, let's say, and
sure.
I can imagine
beavers earned the right to exist.
Being interested in beavers and being so disgusted with the way they build their dams and like I love this river so much that we need to make beavers extinct so that they don't, I guess, like aesthetically damage the river for me anymore. I don't know, like, do I love the river at that point? I don't know. What is it about it that I like? I get confused about my motivations.
Well, what if they're lowering property values on the river with their frequent damming? You know, what if they are having sort of effects on?
Well, that's what it was. Like, if it's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy stuff, and they're demolishing the Earth to make room for an intergalactic superhighway off ramp, then I get it. It makes sense to me.
Well, no, I mean, I think the movie is engaging with this directly. Like, what are the bees? Well, they're the perfect sort of secondary race to cultivate. You know, they follow orders, have a structure, are predictable in that way. They're not going to fuck things up over selfishness or pride. They know their spot. This is what they want. I
suppose so, but that's just Borg shit.
Well, yes. Maybe the Borg are the best at surviving and adapting for the galactic community, or for the environment, for that matter.
Yeah, it's a race between them and the xenomorphs. Yes.
Yeah, the perfect species, of course. But this is what I like about this movie. This is the stuff that I'm engaged with. Beyond the fact that it's doing parallel versions of They Live in Misery at one time, and with two kind of amazing central performances. You know, it just works as a film in that way. These larger kind of humorous existential questions are the joy that I'm getting out of it. That is the fun of it. It is something I don't see a lot of other movies attempting, and kind of seems quintessential in what I want out of Yorgos Lanthimos as a filmmaker, is approaching big ideas or big questions from a sort of a slantwise position, and finding the sort of gallows humor in the ultimate extinction of human life. You know, like the end of the movie is this montage of every human being on Earth dead. You know, it is essentially kind of like the beginning of The Stand from the 90s TV show, except it's all of Earth, and like The Stand is set to an ironic piece of music, Where Have All the Flowers Gone? And then that's how you leave the theater after 5 minutes of watching just corpses.
Yeah, it goes on and on and on. The different shots of all the different corpse tableaus. Yeah,
I think that's wonderful. I think that's what I'm going to movies for. Honestly, it's subtle as a sledgehammer, but funny and just not expected, and it feels appropriate for this film. You know, which is a pretty nihilistic film, top to bottom, despite being a comedy.
Well, that is I mean, is it a comedy or is it a thriller? We're referencing Misery a lot more than we are Anchorman, you know. But
wow, it's not an Anchorman comedy. It's it's a Doctor Strange.
It's more satirical. It's more of an Anchorman 2.
Yeah, of course.
More interested in societal commentary about the ways we're destroying the Earth. Actually, it's kind of Anchorman 2 is not very good, but it is. That's where the whatever.
Okay,
why am I blanking on the Anchorman director's name?
Adam McKay.
The Big Shortcut. Yeah, Adam McKay's sociological impulses are taking the wheel more than that one. That's part of why it's not this good.
Well, he kind of did a version of this movie a few years ago. Yeah. Don't Look Up.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I like that more than most people too. So maybe that's where my head is these days. I want to cackle about the end of all life on Earth.
Honestly, this movie, I was kind of half joking about Anchorman 2. It does make a companion piece with The Big Short in a way, in that The Big Short is also about a small group of men, sort of like trying to expose the global conspiracy that these bad actors are kind of hidden in plain sight and are about to ruin and destroy the world, and they turn out to be right about that.
Well, they're not trying to expose it, though. They're not trying to expose the conspiracy. They're trying to profit off of it significantly. That's the thing about that movie. It's like they see it coming and they're like, "Oh shit, we can make money off of this." Like,
I think that's the impulse. That's the weird tension of that movie. Actually, is that's what the real people it's based on were doing, and then McKay wants to make the movie about exposing it. It's already been exposed by the time the movie's being made, so it's a little hard to iron all that out. But it kind of does end with the sort of epilogue of, oh, yeah, we're all fucked.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, that is a big part, I think, of why the Plemons performance works so good, though, is that he's not doing that. is that he is actually an altruistic figure in this. Like, he doesn't even wish ill against Emma Stone. He is trying to negotiate with her because he thinks he can go to the alien ship to negotiate for Earth's salvation. Like, that's his goal, as stated. And, that contributes, I guess, to his sort of childlike qualities. Like, that he believes he is doing this for good reasons, that are not related to the chemical death of his mother, engineered by the pharmaceutical company that she runs. Like, that's incidental, in his opinion.
Right. Well, the childishness of it is more that less than that he has good reasons, and more that he thinks any of it would work.
Right.
Like his plan is like the idea that okay, fine, everything you think is right. What possible reason do they have to negotiate with you when you're on their ship?
What's he going to say?
What do you offer? Yeah, what is on offer from your end?
And he kind of just thinks that's going to work out. And like, this is a character that probably shouldn't work on paper. And that's why, I mean, it's kind of perfect for this actor. It's kind of all of his things in one role. And why I think this is going to be the signature role for him, I would imagine. At least for me, this kind of says it all when it comes to Plemons. I hope he gets an Oscar nomination for it. I could see it not happening. It's such a weird fucking movie, but
I think Plemons and Emma Stone especially are already sort of Oscar minted, or they're industry approved. Certainly. In that way.
Yeah,
and
as is Yorgos.
Difficult movie. Yeah, kind of through her though. I think
definitely. Well, The Favorite,
Poor Things was such.
Yeah, she's in there too.
Yeah, well, yeah, both The Favorite and then especially Poor Things. Mm-hmm. They're built around these big central performances that are kind of undeniable. That they're big bravura.
He has quite a touch with actors, no question.
And so nominating those movies for acting awards sort of backdoors him into being in consideration for maybe if you're a director or picture that you might struggle with the subject matter otherwise. And I think Plemons, like I said, has worked with everybody, every possible director that could validate your career has blessed him. Mm-hmm. So I would be surprised if they don't both get nominated.
You think she's going to be in supporting or lead?
I mean, she has to decide that where she thinks she has the best chance.
I guess that's what determines it. I think it's a supporting role.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly the female lead of the movie. It's a two-hander movie. I think these are both lead performances, honestly. Okay. But whatever. People do category fraud all the time. It wouldn't be the most egregious thing for her to call it supporting. But whatever. I think that there's nominations. It's also just because of the structure, because the Misery structure, that is just such an actor showcase. It's two people acting off of each other is the engine of the whole movie.
The best scenes are the two of them talking.
Yes,
always.
Absolutely.
Those are wonderful. They're all good. They give you enough of them too. They have a really, really good give and take as actors. They're engaged with one another in a cool way, and it's fun to watch her. Basically, trying to use. It sounds like corporate sensitivity training lessons. In a hostage situation here, in a Misery situation, and being pretty effective at that, actually. Like she is pretty compelling and interesting, even as she's, clearly leaning onto, kind of approved corporate speak as often as not. Just wielding it like a ninja.
And he is... I guess that's the weird thing about this twist. It turns out he actually is great at all of this research and everything, and he was all right. But throughout the experience of watching the movie, it's different than that. And it feels like the only thing he's really good at, or that he's surprisingly good at, is parrying those moves. That he, is ready to be like, oh yeah, you're going to talk to me about information silos and conspiracy theories and all of that. And I know all that, and talks about I've been through all the different sides of it. I love the line about how I went from alt-right, right light or whatever to communist Marxist. Well, I went to the store hungry. I bought everything. It was just a great sort of succinct distillation of that whole kind of phenomenon of radicalization without specificity. even.
Right. Well, he's read the articles about radicalization too.
Exactly. And so he's prepared for that stuff. That's what he's most, and that's the sort of genius of this character and performance is how it enables him to be both within the scenes. He can surprise you by being smarter and dumber and crazier than you expect from moment to moment.
Yeah. It's a gift of a role for sure. But even that said, I mean, I would struggle to think of too many actors who would succeed with it. It's a tough one. It demands a lot, and I think he finds the exact right tone to make the film work. Personally, that's kind of what I think the genius of it is that he's that he can kind of do the crazy shit and then turn around and just look like a 10-year-old. All of a sudden, there's that moment that is actually kind of like it's totally wrong almost, where he just leaps onto the table and runs across it like a feral beast. That is, I wouldn't take it out though because it's so fucking striking and so just like I didn't know he had that in his toolbox for this character. He somehow does. I don't necessarily buy it. Plemons can do that.
He's a really, really good actor. Mm-hmm. And Emma Stone is a very, very good actor, and that is, she has definitely hit an era where she is taking on deliberately very difficult and strange roles. And if ever she was worried about the America's Sweetheart image, she is actively working to undermine it at all points these days.
Well, I mean, this is a person who has essentially won at this point. Like, there is no... she's won 2 Oscars. She's not 40 years old yet. She can do literally whatever the fuck she wants at this point. She is playing on house money, and it is awesome to see the choices she's making with that.
Yeah, she wants to do stuff like this and The Curse. Did you ever watch The Curse?
No, but I respect it from afar. I heard what it was about, and I was like, not for me. Fuck that. But I really appreciate her doing that. She's in Eddington too. She's
kidding me. Is Jesse Plemons also?
Plemons is not. He would fit right in, but he is not.
Oh, no. The connection there was that Ari Aster produced Bugonia as well, or something in some capacity.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm. Or his production company did, and it does feel of a piece with that. I mean, it's a really good comparison with Eddington. Be a good companion piece. They're about similar things, very similar things. I think Bugonia is the more entertaining film. It has fewer kind of sharp edges that I'm bouncing against, even as it's a film made up of sharp edges.
But it is.
But they're both good. They're both interesting, and they're both kind of harrowing in their way.
Yeah, it would be a fascinating counterfactual that you never experienced. But if Ari Aster had made Bugonia, and it was basically the same, but I went into it with Ari Aster expectations instead of Yorgos expectations, I think I still would have been looking for a twist, but I might have been more willing to believe that it was the twist is going to be on how fucked up things get, and not in how outlandish and sci-fi they get.
Well, here's the thing: do you actually really want to believe, that she's a human being at any point? I mean, does that make the film better or more interesting at any point?
For the middle hour of this, that's how I was feeling. I was like, I guess if only to get if it only would have got me out of that headspace of just waiting for the reveal. It's like, maybe I started imagining, I was like, what if this was just a psychodrama? And wouldn't that, I guess I decided at some point I would like that better than sitting here. I wasn't fully on Elaine Bennis yelling at the English patient, the screen in the English patient, just but I was kind of just have it, reveal it already. Just reveal it so I can move on.
I guess it's hard. They don't really try to convince you otherwise, but I mean,
I think they do.
Well, the narrative does. You're
right, yes.
The way the film is so through Plemons' eyes, and like you said, the movie brain kicking in, it makes it very difficult to think otherwise. It's got to have that whole card up its sleeve. It has to, kind of. And there is tension to that, though. Like, I mean, how is the film going to fall out? There is tension there because it is binary. It has to be one of two things. So, it can't be a surprise exactly when it's one of those things.
Can I tell you about, complaining about the surprise element? The thing that surprised me most about this movie, and therefore kind of one of my favorite parts of it, Stavros Halkias.
I'm so glad you brought this up. Yes. Mm-hmm.
There's not much in the way of a supporting cast here. He plays a local cop that sort of knows Jesse Plemons from childhood, and so he comes around asking about him. In a misery situation, you expect this figure to be there, and you expect them to meet a really bad end, and to that, it doesn't really surprise you and its plot functionality. But the motivations they gave him
so good
were so weird and surprising to me.
I loved this. I thought this was brilliant. And I love that they don't spell it out or tell you what the fuck is going on exactly.
Yeah. They don't even confirm that it's a sexual thing.
No. It's certainly implied, but not entirely. It could just be.
I don't know why we're tiptoeing around it. We've spoiled everything in this movie.
Right.
Yeah. He's just he's apologizing because he said he was Clement's babysitter when they were kids. And he is apologizing to him about that fucked up stuff I did with you. And I'm sorry. I never did it to anybody else. I don't know. I wasn't even. I don't even think I was really enjoying it or anything. I think it was just a weird power thing. So it could have been he was making him eat worms or something
right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But also your goes to other places. It would make total sense for Lemon's character to be as crazy as he is, having endured whatever type of abuse on top of everything else.
That's the thing is the Plemons character kind of just doesn't seem to. He's like, oh yeah, that's fine. Don't worry. He has so many other horrible things that have happened in his life, so many other abuses and tragedies that one's just sort of just part of the mix.
Not even my primary trauma, man.
Just I need you to leave now because I got other shit going on. I think that is wonderful. It's so weird and such an interesting way to handle this stock character, that has plot function, to kind of raise the tension for one sequence in the middle kind of thing. And yeah, he's the performance is really good. And and it feels very lived in, and I love how not specific it is. It's quite brilliant, actually. That's it's kind of one of the best just pure movie things the movie does, actually, is throwing that into the pile of ambiguities.
And puts a twist on it, too. Like I said, that's great. I'm not expecting great things from the acting career of Stavros going forward. I don't know that he's got a lot of range or whatever, but what a great usage of that person.
Yeah, I mean, he's a familiar face. I've never seen him in a movie before, though. So, you never know how the acting is going to turn out there. But for what is asked of him here, he's perfect. And and he's just such an odd-looking guy as well. That it's kind of fun to have that body type on screen. That kind of look to a guy. And
it takes you a minute when he steps out of the car at first to realize that, oh, wait, that's not Paul Walter Hauser. And then the best compliment I can give it is that by the end of his role in this movie, I'm not thinking that should have been Paul Walter Hauser.
You would have nailed it. But yes.
Oh, yeah, it could have been.
Yeah.
Would have been just fine. But yeah, this is great.
So, I mean, I think it's a fun movie in all its bizarreness, and I don't know if my parents would find it to be fun, for example. Right. I don't know if this is for many other people. I had a ball with this thing. I was kind of just cackling through all the weird curves and things like that. I hear what you're saying, and I wonder if that will be a problem for people. That where it's going. I kind of think that the magic of the ending is not that she's an alien. It's the final montage of death, really. Is that where the movie ultimately lands, that we are on the Andromedan spaceship, and it's pretty impressive looking when you actually see it. They built the thing on a computer screen, but they fully committed to the aesthetic of these weird hair-based aliens. And then they just kill everyone on Earth. And the movie concludes, and we're kind of just like, wow, that was not like other films.
True. Yeah, I kind of think this feels like it might just be a me thing.
I think this is a me thing, man. I think this is very much a movie I will like more than other people. I think you're going to be the majority opinion on this.
No, I think the twist ending. Well, I think the twist will work for more people than it does, or at least.
Yeah,
they might be annoyed by it, but I don't know that everybody. It's because they're sitting there in the first act going, okay, it's got to do this thing, and that people are I don't know that most people are as obsessed with structure as I am in that way. But they might just dislike it just because it, twist endings can turn people off. They feel like this is not the movie I was watching. Maybe people who are digging the misery vibes might just be like, why are we in Monty Python territory all of a sudden?
Well, that said, it's still the movie they've been watching, though. Like the Plemons view of things is still a valid path through the film. Even if he is narratively kind of being, a lot of things getting thrown up in his way along the way, like just in the way we are seeing Emma Stone presented, in the way that we're kind of with him as he figures stuff out and comes to decisions about how to proceed. I feel like there is a version of this movie which is They Live, which is that he is the innocent kind of figure that sees through it, and we are in his headspace at least. I guess we don't have the overt confirmation of the glasses. Like, we're not seeing her true lizard face at any point, I guess.
Yeah. They're saving it for a big reveal at the end.
Yeah, But he's never less than convinced. Right? Like, he's completely in on it. So, I don't know if we are, though, I guess is the difference. Right? Even if we are. It hasn't been confirmed.
He does seem to hesitate at isolated moments, but I guess we're, in hindsight, just believe that's just about the more torturous aspects of what he's doing. He's just not comfortable with, even though he's very convinced that she is the thing.
Well, he's deeply uncomfortable in his skin, and she is incredibly comfortable in hers, even if it's not her skin. She is, very adept at managing and controlling people, as a CEO would be. Let alone an alien. Like she's, that's the fun of those scenes between them, is the power dynamic. Because he technically he has all the power, but socially she has it all. Like she has all the capital socially in those scenes, and and that makes the third lead kind of an interesting sounding board. Although I don't know, I guess that people are saying he was really good. I don't know, he's good, but I think I never found him to be too impactful to the events of the film.
He's good. The third one is the cousin who's the sort of sidekick that they cast an actually autistic person to play, and I think gives quite a good performance. Again, sort of like where that character goes, I'm like, I didn't really ever see another path for that character, and I guess maybe that's what's a little deflating about this is that's not usually the way I feel about Yorgos Lanthimos movies, to the extent that there is a usually with him. I tend to be fairly surprised at the places the characters and the plots go. And this is the first time that was not the case, I guess. That's
true, actually. Interesting. Huh. How about that? I don't know. I mean, I was still surprised at the total extinction of humanity at the end of this film. That was surprising, right?
Yeah, a little. I was kind of confused too by just the mechanics of. It looks like she's like, she goes and pops the air bubble on the flat Earth model. So I guess the Earth is flat too in this movie.
You might as well be. Sure, why not? Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares? So I was like, oh, did she just like just release all did all the air in the atmosphere just pop and all the air goes out of things? But no, there's still like animals and plants and the water did not fly off into space or anything. Like the atmosphere is still there. It just snuffed out all the people, all the humans in a moment.
I mean, I think it's just a visual representation of,
the
mundane action of turning the light switch off.
I was weirdly distracted by the mechanics of that. What actually did just happen?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you watching this movie so I could talk about it. At least I I mean, I think you were
in Yorgos and these actors and all that stuff too. Yeah.
I get the sense you were, you didn't hate this or anything. This is a compelling film. Yeah.
No, I even feel like my criticisms of it are probably unfair in some way, but I can air them to you because you're a safe space.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe I'm doing a poor job of pairing them, much like Jesse Plemons in the film. Sort of been like, well, actually, satire, Dr. Strangelove, but this might very well be a film that I can't fully articulate or understand even why I was so viscerally impacted by it. That tends to happen. And I'm just one viewing in. This is a film I want to watch a few more times for certain, It's one of the more striking of the year for me. I want to, make family members watch it and have them deal with it, things like that.
Oh, yeah, this is a fun one for your daughter.
Oh, yeah, totally. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm going to wait a few years until she's 8, something like that, but we'll get there. Yeah.
No, I do. That's the thing we try and champion, I think, more generally, is the movies that remain kind of thorny and difficult to unpack on a single viewing and all that. That's generally a positive mark towards artistically.
Mm-hmm. It can be clumsiness, too, and sort of a sloppiness to the theming. I mean, that's valid. I don't think that's the case here.
That would little surprise me coming from this crew, because I don't know. I couldn't tell you exactly what the Lobster's all getting at, or even what the Lanthimos ethos is exactly. But it all I would have said it's definitely yes, and it is, but it's all deliberate choices. It's not clumsiness or any of that stuff, sloppiness by any means. And this, I don't know. This one, whatever. I have plot hangups. I think they're neat things. I think the actors should be rewarded for their work here, if nothing else, because I think they're pretty great.
Yeah, kind of top to bottom. I found this movie to be just very purely entertaining in a way that I don't know. As we get into the prestige season, I find kind of vanishingly slim among that cohort. It's just not as when you're out trying to watch your Oscar movies, something like this really sticks out, and Yorgos has been good about that in general.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's kind of a treat.
He wants people to watch his movies. And doesn't mean he's going for conventional, 4 quadrants or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But he wants the people who are interested enough to sit down to not be able to get up, to have to see what's going next. And it's a different thing than what Prestige is going for. Yeah.
I mean, they're comfortable flying under the banners of that, though, which is the fun thing. Like Ari Aster, been mentioned on this episode, did a similar thing, I think, with Beau is Afraid, which is a film that, it's almost for nobody, but it was for me. It's, but everyone felt like, that they had to go see it because it was an Ari Aster film. And he made this successful horror films, and he was able to kind of take that, notoriety, fame, the celebrity he achieved from those to get everyone into a 3-hour existential Jewish crisis movie that is horrifying. I love that film. I think it's really funny. A lot of people didn't, and I think that's a very valid reaction to have to it. They weren't going for Oscars, though.
I haven't seen it in part because I already have A Serious Man that can give me that in 2 hours.
A Serious Man is the better film for certain. But I don't know. It's more like if A Serious Man, had sort of, I don't know, if it felt like you were also having a heart attack during it. That's Beau is Afraid.
That does not sound more appealing.
It's really funny.
But it's weird too. So you're talking a lot about Beau is Afraid here. Everybody else I've seen is connecting this to Eddington, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean level. It's a very Ari Aster film. I mean, this. Like we were saying, almost feels like he made it, compared to Yorgos. But no, it's definitely Yorgos as well. Eddington, I think, thematically is the obvious parallel, but emotionally, I think Beau is Afraid is maybe not a bad thing to look at.
I think we could also give some credit to the writer here. Will Tracy is a guy that also worked on Eddington, and I think he's I'm pretty sure he was a big mucky muck at the Onion for a while, and then. He made he wrote The Menu, which is a movie I know you also enjoyed.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
And
the menu.
Mountainhead, the Succession follow-up with like Steve Carell and Jason Schwartzman that we never. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
I was curious. It had a compelling hook. I didn't hear great things, so I never got around to it. Although knowing it's him kind of makes me want to take a look.
It seems like you're into this guy's work, and that's the only. He's only done 4 things, and that's the one you haven't seen. That's probably worth a shot.
Yeah,
but I think he's. I mean, you can feel like going from the menu to this. You can also feel that connection in a way that you can with Ari Aster's work. I would say.
Well, the menu is a very. It's a much more conventional kind of thing, but it shares a sort of this gallows humor, low opinion of humanity thing. That I found so appealing here. So that's fun. I'm definitely gonna have to check out Mountainhead now.
It's a hostage situation. Mm-hmm. It's got sort of end of the world vibes, even though I don't think there's anything. No, the chef is not going to actually end the world. No, but something about that, the isolated on that island and that restaurant and whatever, like that world is ending. That's it's a suicide cult there. So it does feel of a piece. And I guess I won't get into how Mountainhead also reflects that stuff, but.
I mean, just the premise alone sounds at least in the same ballpark. So, yeah.
They're isolated and there's some kind of apocalyptic stuff going on. Okay.
Cool.
That's good. Yeah.
Apocalyptic cinema, I think, is going to be making a big comeback for the next little while, I suspect. And these guys are kind of maybe the vanguard of what could be conceivably a big trend in movies in the near future.
Dude, you're right. I'm trying to find a way to sound excited about that.
Once it makes its way into a Marvel film, then we'll know it's here.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like apocalyptic cinema historically, and now I guess
your cup's about to run over with it.
Yeah. Anyhow.
All right. I don't know what else.
Bye. Yeah. Rate and review. We haven't said that in like 18 months.
After this one, please rate and review right now. Thanks for listening.
The world's going to end, so click the 5-star button.
Yeah, what harm could it do? Thanks.